Welcome everybody to Tuesday Tea Time. I am an hour late today because I was on the ferry, but we're driving now to the city. My friend John has taken the wheel so that I can talk to you guys for tea time. So today, I don't know how many of you are going to show up, but I'll repost this on YouTube later. And I actually have a really fun story to share with you guys today. And it's fitting because I am just headed, I'm going to do some teaching in the Seattle area today. And then I will teach my online class tomorrow, the final class of my summer session. Hi Joe, thanks for joining. And then on Thursday, I will be headed to Burlington, Vermont for my first clinic of 8 weeks of clinics. So I go from Vermont to Germany, and then I believe I go from Germany to Switzerland, and then from Switzerland to the UK. I'm so excited I get to get back to the UK. I wasn't sure about that, but it looks like it's a go. So those of you who are in the UK, I hope to see you there. And from the UK, I'll head on to Belgium and France. And then from there, I will go and teach a clinic in the Netherlands. And then finish up with a clinic in Poland. And that'll take me 8 weeks to do that teaching tour. And then I'll be back in the States after that. So I've been thinking a lot because I'm in this mode where I'm shifting into more teaching than practicing. What is it that I've really learned about all the things that I've been studying in my own personal time? So when I'm home, I spend most of my time pretty quiet with my horses. It's just me and them. And it's a very slow, meditative kind of study. And these things happen that just feel so powerfully transformative in my mind. And then I can take those ideas with me when I teach around the world. So I'm really grateful to my horses for what they teach me. So I was thinking a lot about the difference between a counteroffer and a no answer. So, as trainers, we try and ask questions that get yes answers. And the way I define a yes answer is when the horse responds to you with thinking, yielding, or playing. And the way you know it's thinking, yielding, or playing is that harmony is possible between you. When it becomes a no answer, the horse responds to you with fight, flight, or freeze, which means they either push into you, run away from you, or ignore you in a way where it feels like harmony isn't possible. Now, I talk about how freeze is that in-between place where you can harmonize with a freeze. And so it might be categorized as maybe instead of no, but it's in that sort of halfway between yes and no. So I really do believe that we should ask questions that get yes answers. But in freedom-based training, you want to feel like the horse has the freedom to interact with you and to respond to you in a way that shows they have their own reasoning process. They're not just doing what's told. And sometimes my students will struggle with this. I'm supposed to ask questions that get yes answers, but I also want my horse to have a personality, an opinion, and a real character. But how do I really see their character if they always just say yes? And that's where we get into the idea of a counteroffer. So I have a really fun story about this. I was working on understanding the senses. And so I was playing with smell and taste and touch and sight with my horses. And Ari is an interesting horse, my stallion that's the Mustang from Nevada. he has a very, very sensitive sense of smell. So he really, really dislikes it when anything smells strong. And I've been trying to understand the right feel and timing that it would take for him to be curious and interested about smells instead of concerned about them. And sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it wrong, sometimes I do too much. When I do too much, it's been his tendency in the past to run away. You know, he just exits and walks fast enough that I can't keep up with him. And I have to work around the space until he will let me interact again. That's a very clear no answer. So my job is to ask questions that get yes answers. But it's a tricky subject. He doesn't like strong smells. So I was working with the fly spray, not spraying it on him directly, but just uncapping it, letting him smell it, and then taking away before he was overwhelmed. And he was doing pretty well. We were getting little moments of interest and curiosity, and I was getting the timing right, but then I did it one too many times. And what was interesting is that instead of saying no and going into flight and trying to get away from me, he kind of arced around me really gently in this really slow, easy walk, kind of picking me up as he went. And he invited me to go with him. And so I put down the fly spray bottle and I walked with him. And he took me to the mounting block. And it felt like he was offering that we could play that game about riding. Now, for those of you who know, I am in the process of an experiment with my stallions where I want all of their training to have a voluntary aspect. So that means that I might push to the edge of their comfort zone, but I'm trying not to push over the edge of the comfort zone. I'm trying not to do anything that they will say directly no to. I'm respecting the boundaries of what's comfortable for them. So that means that I have been playing for probably a year. Yes, there we go. I'm back. All right. So I have been playing for about a year with Ari in the mounting block. And he is really interested in being there with me. He lets me lie on his back. He lets me stroke him. But his neck is always a little bit tight. And the more weight I put on him, the tighter his neck muscles get. And that tells me that we're right at the edge of his comfort zone. He's not ready for me to sit on him fully yet. So I haven't. And I've really been watching his responses and playing with the edge of his comfort zone, but not pushing past it. So the other day, we were playing with the fly spray. He gave me a counter offer to go play at the mounting block instead of playing with the fly spray. And I took it. I do want to ride him at some point. I'm happy to take that counter offer. It was very gentle, very harmonious. He just offered me a different option. Ended up, we got there. I was lying on his back. I was hugging him. I was petting him. I was doing all the things I usually do before riding. And for the first time ever, he dropped his head, relaxed his neck, and started to fall asleep. And that was really exciting. Because so in that moment, I had all my weight on his back. I wasn't sitting up, but I was lying on his back. My foot was off of the mounting block. He was carrying my whole weight. And instead of tensing up to hold that weight, he relaxed and enjoyed it. And that felt monumentally different. So to me, that's really the power of a counter offer. I offered an exercise that was a little bit difficult for Ari, and he counter offered with a different exercise that he thought I would really enjoy, and he was right on. When we train in freedom, we give the horse permission to make counter offers. If they would like to do something different, it's not that we're going to take every counter offer, but sometimes they know exactly what to offer that can change the day's training plan. And that's really what makes training more free in this method. The horse gets to have a voice and opinion. We don't want them to say no. because saying no feels bad. When you say no, you go to fight or flight or freeze, and it feels bad. So we don't want to reinforce a no answer. We don't want to tell the horse that we want them to feel bad. We want them to feel good. They might have a different idea about what thing they want to do with us while they feel good. And that's where the training gets really fun. I find often the biggest leaps of progress come when the horse says, I'm not sure I'm ready to do what you're offering, but could I offer this other thing that we were playing with yesterday? And that's the beauty of the counter offer. It's not exactly a yes answer, but it's definitely not a no answer. And the way you know the difference is by how much harmony there is between the horse and the human. If there's a lot of harmony between you, that's something that's worth doing. If either of you feel like it's not as enjoyable, well, then you have to keep negotiating until you find the right thing that both of you guys can do and enjoy together. So those are my thoughts today. I hope I get to see a few of you on my travels, and I'm looking forward to a good 2 months ahead of me of teaching. So I'll be doing tea time from a different place every week for the next 2 months. And I look forward to all the ideas and thoughts and fun things that happen. So come back and visit next week, every Tuesday. I'm going to keep the time the same. So noon Pacific time will be in the evening while I'm in Europe. But I look forward to sharing with you guys, and